Hello everyone, how have you been? I wish all of you are great. Today we are going to start a new lesson. I think it will be helpful for you. In our last class, we have a discussion on flowchart. So today I am going to start a new lesson on unit 14 and it's about folk music. I request you to open your book and start reading with me, because if you want to make you more efficient, you need to read. Without reading your text, without improving your reading ability, it will be difficult for you to getting marks in exam. So please open your book and go through unit 13, art and music, lesson 2, folk music. Today we will discuss about folk music. This is an important chapter, and we need to learn not only the passage but also we need to learn a paragraph from this chapter. So please open the book and start with me. After reading this lesson, we will be able to define folk music. We will be able to cite some folk artists and narrate different types of folk music. We will also able to use some new words. Here is a picture, an image. I think most of you are aware about this picture. Who is he? He is Fakir Lalon Shah. Both are our folk artists, isn't it? Pagla Kanai Shah Abdul Karim. They are very famous folk artists. I think most of you know him, isn't it? Yes, he is Fakir Alongir, one of our greatest folk artists, and we have many popular songs. Who are they? They are folk artists. So our today's lesson is about folk music. At first, we will discuss about some word which is related to this text, and the word meaning will help you to understand the text more clearly. So at first, we will increase our vocabulary. The first one is sophisticated. Dear student, please try to learn the word with the spelling and meaning. Sophisticated, I think it's a new word for you. What could be the meaning of sophisticated? Can you guess? Can someone guess the meaning of sophisticated? Yes, here's the meaning for you. Having, revealing, or involving a great deal of worldly experience and knowledge of fashion and culture. So can you understand? Something which is highly or worldly experienced and which is full with fashion and culture. For example, a sophisticated woman. The next one is secular. Secular. Do you know the word? Do you learn it previously? Secular. What could be its meaning? Try to gaze. Here's a picture for you. No God, no problem. So some people who believe that they are secular. What is the meaning of the word secular? Secularism is a belief system that rejects religion. So the people who are secular, they want to say that, or they believe that there is no God. So they reject religion, or the belief that religion should not be part of the affairs of the state or part of public education. Isn't it? Tribe. Our new word is tribe. The word tribe is much clearer through this picture, isn't it? What we can see here in this picture is the picture of some tribal people, isn't it? So tribes meaning is a social division. Tribe means a social division in a traditional society consisting of families or communities linked by social, economic, religious, or with a common culture and dialect. So tribe is related to a community with our indigenous people, isn't it? Tribal or tribe. The next word is riverine. Riverine. I think most of you are aware about the word river. We are familiar with the word river. But what's the meaning of the word riverine? Riverine, it's a new term for you. Riverine, what could be the meaning of riverine? Riverine meaning is relating to or formed by or resembling a river. Riverine means something which is related to river, life around the river. Okay. So the next one is classical. What could be the meaning of classical? Classical, something which is classic, isn't it? Which is highly standard and have a quality. We can say it as a classical. What could be the meaning? Relating to music of the late 18th and early 19th century, characterized by an emphasis on balance, clarity, and moderation. Okay? So classical, the term classical relating to music of the late 18th and early 19th century. Characterize, please. Understand, try to understand. Characterize, that means the music which has the characteristics which give emphasis on balance, clarity, and moderation are called classical music. Clear? The next word is mystical. Mystical. What can we understand from this picture? Is it something mystical expressed here? Yes, something which is, we can call something which is divine, or something which is different from the reality, isn't it? Mystical, having a spiritual, symbolic, or allegorical significance that transcends human understanding. Spiritual, symbolic, or allegorical things which is transcends human understanding. For example, the mystical body of Christ. The mystical body of Christ, which is just apart from reality. We can call something which is apart from reality, mystical. Okay, dear student, try to understand and gauge the meaning from the picture. You need to match the meaning with the picture, then it will clear for you. You can understand it easily. Okay. The next word is note. Note, I think it's easy. We can understand it. A brief record of points or ideas written down as an aid to memory. So why do we take note? To remember it in a short term, isn't it? For example, I will make a note in my diary. The next word is tempo. The word tempo actually is a musical term, isn't it? It's a musical term. Please try to follow the word tempo, mood, dynamics, articulation, all are related with music. Here is the meaning: the speed at which a passage of music is or should be played. So what's the meaning of tempo? We can say it's the speed in which a music is played, isn't it? Okay, the next word is rhythm. Rhythm. A strong, regular, repeated pattern. Repeated pattern. What is the meaning of rhythm? Repeated pattern of movement or sound is called rhythm. Runa listened to the rhythm of his breathing. So our heart breath also has a rhythm, isn't it? Yes, our heart breathes with rhythm. Serious music following long established thing, isn't it? So let's start our text. Please open your book and you need to read with me. I read and you also have to read from your text. Just try to read from your text. We have completed our vocabulary part, so it will be easy for us to understand the passage. Folk music consists of songs and music of a community that are uninfluenced by any sophisticated musical rules or any standard music styles. So what could we understand? It consists, so folk music is a particular type of music, isn't it? It's a particular type of music which is not influenced by any sophisticated musical rules. For example, we can say that classical music or Tagore song, it's totally different and it's not influenced by any sophisticated musical rules or any standard music style. It's a totally different one and it's related with community, isn't it? Bangladesh has a heritage of rich folk music. We have a heritage. Heritage means tradition, isn't it? Yes, we have a heritage of rich folk music, which includes both religious and secular song. So, in our heritage of folk music, we have some religious song and as also some secular songs. We can understand from our previous learning about vocabulary that religious and secular are totally different terms, isn't it? So in our folk music heritage, we have both types of song. We have secular and we have also religious song. Folk music may be described as that type of ancient music which spring from the heart of a community. So folk music spring from the heart of a community. It's represent a community, isn't? So folk music represent a particular type of people or a particular community, heart of a community, based on their natural style. That represent, folk music represents some natural style of that community of expression, uninfluenced by the rules of classical music. It doesn't follow any classical rules. It just follow the natural feelings or natural expression of a particular people, okay, particular community. And modern popular song. So folk music is also apart from modern popular song. It doesn't follow the rules of any modern song, okay. Dear student, any mood or form created by the combination of tune, voice and dance may be described as music. Clearly here we have a definition of music. Any mood or form created by the combination of tune, voice and dance may be described as music. So if you are asked what is music, according to your text, what is music or define music or give a definition of music, we need to answer it from here. Any mood or form created by the combination of tune, voice, and dance may be described as music. Clear? Dear student, please try to understand or try to pick up or jot down some points related to open question, because you know that you have to answer 10 marks question from your text. So whenever you read a text, please try to find out some answer or WH question, so that it will be easy for you to answer WH question. If you try to understand or try to find out the point, if you try to find out some points related to WH question through your text or from your text, it will really very effective for you or really very efficient. It will make you more efficient if you try to find out some answer of open question. So here the next line. Thus, the combination of folk song, folk dance, and folk tune may be called folk music. For example, baul song are a combination of tune, music, and dance. So in our country, you know, baul song is very popular song, and in a baul song, we find a combination of tune, music, and also dance. Clear? Folk music has the following characteristics. So here we find some characteristics of folk music. Try to understand it. It's a combination rural folk on the basis of ancient rules transmitted orally. So it's transmitted orally, and it's these ancient rules of music have not been influenced by classical or modern music. It doesn't follow the rules of modern music or any rules of classical music. For example, we can say that it doesn't follow the rules of Tagore song or any other song which is related. Folk music is totally different from all this type of song. You know, we have modern song like band music, isn't it? Band music, but folk music is a different one. It's not similar with Tagore song or not similar with band music, band song. Okay. So the third one is folk song may be sung in groups or individually. So it may be grouped by the people or in a chorus mode. It may be sung or individually. We also have some folk music. No regular practice is required for folk music. So it is, as it doesn't follow a particular rule, so it's not required to practice. It is composed and performed by illiterate or semi-illiterate people. It's a spontaneous expression in easy language. So folk music are presented in spontaneously. There we find the spontaneity of the singer, and also they sing it in easy language, which is very casual in our day-to-day life. Local dialect are also used in a folk music. Dialect, what is dialect? Do you know what is dialect? Dialect is the language of the general people which we use locally. It's called dialect. And simple tune. So we also found some simple tune in folk music. They don't use heavy instrument like drum or jazz or something else. They just use simple tune. Okay. So the next point is both words and tune are appealing. So the word and tune have appeal. They have their own appeal to the people, and it's represent people's hearts feeling. Okay. Despite its universal appeal, it uses local dialect. So the song represent universal feelings, but they use local dialect, and they use the expression of a particular community, but its appeal is universal. So we can say that the appeal of our folk music is really very universal, and it's heart touching, but it represents through the dialect or through the feelings of a particular community. Okay, it depends upon nature and the rural environment. It is an explicit manifestation of the joys and sorrows of daily life. So we can say that it's an explicit manifestation. Manifestation means presentation. We can say that it's an explicit presentation, or it reveals explicitly of the joys and sorrows of daily life. It represents our joys and sorrows of our day-to-day life. Okay, it use simple and natural rhythm. They also use simple and natural one rhythm. So I think that it's clear now. The word meaning is clear to you. So it's follow the natural rhythm. We know that everything in a nature has its own rhythm. So does as human being. Every particular community have their own reason, isn't it? It contains a strong emotion expression of human love and separation. So folk music also represent human love and also represent human sorrow or separation. Okay. The next one is, in Bangladesh, folk music has great variety with songs being on the culture, festivals, views of life, natural beauty, rivers, and rural and riverine life. So folk music represent what folk music represent, or from folk music which we can identify. We can identify from our folk music about our culture, our festival, our views of life, isn't it? From our folk music, we can understand about our culture. The people of foreign country or the people who are not from our community, they can understand our culture by listening folk music. It's also represent about our festival, isn't it? Yes, folk music also represent our festival, our views of life, our values of life also represent by folk music. Our natural beauty is also sometimes represent through folk music. Rivers and our rural and river and life is also represented by our folk song. These songs are also about social inequality and poverty, about the material world. So our folk music also represent the problem prevailing in our society. It represent the situation or inhuman condition which is prevailing in our society, and also the poverty of the people living in both urban and rural area are also presented through folk music. Okay, dear students, so folk music both represent our spiritual and worldly matter, isn't it? Yes, and the supernatural, sometimes supernatural or something unusual is also present in folk music, which is revealed in our belief, which is within our belief. We can find it in our folk music. So it's folk music sometimes represent reality and also sometimes represent supernatural one. Mystical songs have been composed using the metaphors of rivers and boats. So what is the meaning of the term metaphor? We have learned it in our class. I have discussed the word metaphor with you many times. It's a literary term. Metaphor is a literary term. Metaphor means something which we can present symbolically, isn't it? Which we can present symbolically is called a metaphor. Mystical songs have been composed using metaphor of rivers and boats. So sometimes boat and river represent our status of this worldly life, which is very temporary, which is not permanent, is presented in our folk music through these two metaphor. Using metaphor of river and boat, the folk artist or the folk song represent our temporary life here. Since the country is basically riverine, the Bhartiali forms an important genre of folk music. As our country is river in most of the river area in our country, so Bhartiali is an important genre. What is the meaning of the word genre? Do you know? Yes, we can say that it means kind or species. It's also a literary term. Genre is also used in literature to classify literature or we can describe the form of literature through the word genre. Okay. For example, I can say that in prose there are two genres. In prose there are two genres, or in poetry there are different types of genres. We can say that ode, we can say sonnet, and also different types of poem. And in prose we have essay, or we have novel or short stories. All are represent through the word genre. Okay. Genre of folk music. Folk music is a formed and develops according to the environment. So folk music is also depend on environment. Whenever our folk songwriters write their song, they are mostly influenced by the environment of the nature. Okay. Difference in the natural environment are reflected in the people of the different region. We know that though Bangladesh is a small country, but our environment or our natural scenario is different from north to south, isn't it? Our north is different from our south. South is more riverine area. So the folk song is varies according to the region, as it is reflected, as it reflects the people's life, or reflect the picture of the people related to that particular area. So folk music differ from the region. It represents particular life of the people. Difference in the natural environment are reflected in the people of different region. The dialects too vary across the different region. We know that the dialects or the people's language of different region are differ or vary from region to region. So in folk music, it's also vary. Okay. Bangladeshi folk music therefore varies from region to region. Clear? Thus, there are the northern Bhawaiya, the eastern Batiali, and the southern Baul song. The culture and the lifestyle of the different tribes have also influenced folk music. So, the culture and lifestyle of different tribe. So, the word tribe, I think it's clear to you. What's the meaning of the tribe? So folk music is also influenced by different tribes, have also influenced on folk music. Tribes like the Shautal, Garo, Hajong, Chakma, Manipuri, Tripuri, Marma, all are influenced. Okay. All these tribes influence our folk music, have interacted with ethnic Bengali culture and lifestyle over the years. The interaction has been clearly reflected in the richness of folk music. So we are very rich actually in sector of folk music. Our folk music is really very rich because we have many ethnic group of people, many tribal people, and our lifestyle of region to region is also differ, also varies. So our folk music is also very rich, and we have a variety of folk song. Folk songs may be sung individually or in chorus. What is the meaning of chorus? Do you know it? What is the meaning of chorus? Chorus actually means when a group of people sing a song together. It's called chorus. Maybe it's a song, or it's a sometimes some lyric they song together. It's called chorus. We can see chorus in Shakespeare's drama also we find chorus, and we sometimes we find chorus in Jatra Pala, you know Jatra Pala. Here we also find chorus. So folk song may be sung individually or chorus. Okay. Next, folk songs sung individually include Baul, Bhawaiya, Murshidi, and Marfoti, while songs sung in chorus include Kobigan, Leto, Alkap, and Gambhira. So, if you have to answer the question, which songs are sang in chorus, we need to answer the point from here. The chorus song are Gambhira, Leto, Kobigan, etc. Okay. Some songs are regional in character. So some songs are related with particular region. Okay. Some songs are related with particular region, but others are common to both Bangladesh and West Bengal. So some songs are, I can say that some songs are particular for some area. For example, for North Bengal and for South Bengal, the songs are different, but there are some songs which is similar or which is same in both Bangladesh and West Bengal of India. Okay. Similarly, some songs belong distinctively to one religious community. Okay, clear. Please try to understand this line. Some songs belong distinctively to one religious community. So there are a particular song for Muslim religion and also for some Hindu religion. You know, we have bhojan or Sri Krishna Kirtan, some song which is related to Sri Krishna. So it's a song which is for the particular community of Hindu community, and there are also some song which is related to Muslim community. Okay. Others cross religious boundaries, and there are also some song which don't bother about the religion or don't bother about the particular religious people. Some songs are for all community. Some songs belong exclusively to men, others to women. So it's interesting, isn't it? We have a lot of variety in our folk songs. Some songs are particularly for men and some are particularly for women, while some are sang by both men and women. Okay. Thus, only women composes and sing Batra Gan and Meli Geet. So Meli Geet is a particular song which should be sung by women only. Men cannot perform the Meli Geet. Clearly, men and women participate in roop beating song. So roop beating song is a particular type of song which is sung when the labors of roof beating labor sung that are sung while beating down and forming rooftops. Can you understand this particular line? So here are a type of song which is sung by particularly for men or particularly for women, such as Meli Geet is sung by women, but there are also some different song which is sung by both male and female person. You know, if you go to our village area, you will find some people who are sometimes doing work in a field or sometimes doing work in a rooftop forming roof. They are singing a particular song in our rural area. We can see this picture very easily, and we can find it that the people who are doing their work by singing song. All this type of song are connected with folk song. Okay. So different folk song belonging to different regions of Bangladesh are listed below. Here is a list for you. Baul and spiritual song. Baul and spiritual song are particularly for Birbhum and Kushtia. So the people of Birbhum and Kushtia are related with Baul and spiritual song. Jarigan. We find Jarigan, Dhaka, Mymensingh, Sylhet, Faridpur and Murshidabad. Bhavaiya song, we find it in Kuch Bihar, Rajshahi, Dinajpur, Rangpur, and Pabna. Gambira, Rajshahi, Malda. Okay. Here are also some different types of song, wedding song. All region in our rural area, actually there are particular song which is related to wedding. You know, wedding song is also a part of our folk music. Roop beating song, the northern regions of Bangladesh. So roop beating song, we can find roop beating song in the northern part of the area. Sharigan, the lower region of Sylhet and Mymensingh. Bhatiali, nearly all regions of Bangladesh. Pastoral songs, some song we find in pastoral area. For example, Dhaka, Mymensingh, Faridpur, Sylhet, and Hobiganj. We find pastoral song. Okay. So here some group work, but because of pandemic, it's not possible to do any group work. I just need to skip it, and I just go to homework. It's time to give you some homework. Dear student, I'll request you to do your homework, and I expect that all of you are connecting with your study and do your homework regularly. Go through the lesson 2 of Unit 14 again and write a paragraph on folk music of Bangladesh. Dear student, actually it will be Unit 13 as it was done from the previous one. My book was 2015, so there it was Unit 14. Okay, but actually it will be Unit 13. Please try to follow clearly. Now, do you have any question? If you have, you will surely comment me, and I will try to solve or try to give you answer. Here are some open question for you. Answer the following question. How is folk music defined in the Egypt? What are the characteristics of folk music? Do you understand the question? The first one is, how is folk music defined? You need to give a definition of folk music from your text. Okay, and the similar word of excerpt is text. What are the characteristics of folk music? Give a short description of river in life. You need to describe the life related to our river area. What do you understand by the term chorus? I think I have explained the word chorus, and it will be easy for you to give answer. So you need to write a paragraph on folk music, and you need to answer the question presented here. Okay, dear student, I think the text is now clear to you. Please try to understand it and read it. Sometimes some of you asked to run the class in Bengali, but actually it's really not possible, as it is English first paper and we focus on our language. So if you want to learn a language, you need to learn it in that language. If I just translated it to you in Bengali, maybe it's easy to understanding, but it's not really helpful to learn a language. In English first paper, our focus is language, so we need to learn it in English. For this reason, I am continuing this class in English. I request you, please try to understand, and if you try, you will be able to do it. You will try. If you try, you can do, or you can understand my speech easily. You need to do a lot of performance. Actually, you need to act, and you need to do some brainstorming. Then it will be easy for you. That's all for today. Be healthy and stay safe in your home. Goodbye.